Whitbourne Estate is a relatively traditional family-owned private estate. We've got traditional agricultural activities going on here. We've got farming, forestry, we've got a few tenant farms and some property as well. And then in more recent years, we've been diversifying into a few other ventures, including hospitality and of course the care farm. It's taken 10 years to get to this point, not only in terms of the volume of young people and the breadth of activities, but I would also say in the quality of our service.
The work that we do, both the physical work and all the emotional support we do with young people, that works really well and is safeguarding in mind is relatively straightforward. I started farming in 2000 and I think I'd always been interested in care farming. I've been running a Riding for Disabled group based on the farm for 27 years now. So for a long time I'd understood this connection between children, these were children with special needs, and the animals and this lovely rural environment.
Andrew, Julia and all the staff, they were extremely welcoming and they didn't make me do anything I didn't want to do. It's changed my attitude to life in general, I guess. Coming here, I've seen a potential future which I never saw before.
We work with a lot of children in care. So potentially, going forward, a lot of possible, I suppose you could say possibly members of society that are going to have difficult issues, which comes at a cost, doesn't it?
I'd always be getting sent out to class and everything because I just thought I don't want to learn enough so when I used to get excluded, I just used to laugh about it and everything. But now, I thought I look back and I think I really need my exams. With school, you have to sit in the classroom all day. With the farm, you're always rushing around, which is it's like that really. And plus, it's quiet on the farm as well, which I like that. School was quite loud and everybody was shouting and everything, and I just thought, nah, I'm not going no more. So I just stopped going for a bit.
I think one of the reasons that the young people engage so well here is because it's about real work.
I used to come here 2 days a week, I think, and it was just like an escape. Like, my life at home was quite disruptive. People around me were involved in drugs and violence. So it was just nice to get away and see there is a different side to life than just getting drunk and starting fights all the time. I remember when I was younger feeling really proud to walk through town because I used to get the bus back, like smelling of horse poo and sheep poo, and I used to be like, that's me. Like, I used to want to go out and, I was doing drugs and sit with all my friends, and actually I was quite happy and glad to be smelling of poo. So it sort of becomes something I was proud of that was different. And yeah, I think it was gradual, like everything added up together. And Julia's absolutely amazing. Like, we're friends now, which is great. But yeah, it's probably Julia that makes it. Every kid needs a different sort of help. I think that's why these kids don't work in mainstream schools, because mainstream, you're a number, you'll get treated the same, and a lot of our kids don't need to be treated the same. They've all got their own needs. And I think that's why I've worked, that not to just look at someone and think, oh, they're little. Actually get to know them, and then there's a reason why they're playing up, and you can deal with that. It's probably the biggest lesson, I think.
Trust is a very big part of what we do. So driving the buggy, trusting them to use tools. We show, right from our very early days of them coming here, we trust you to do this. You can trust us.
I think it's a really interesting time for those of us privileged enough to own and manage land. 30 or 40 years ago, when really we existed to produce food and to appoint some of the early kind of land management schemes and stewardship and so forth, we were able to get on with it relatively quietly. Sitting here in 2019, the scrutiny that the world has put upon those of us that are lucky enough to manage land has never been more intense. It is really vital that we provide shop windows to enable the general public to see and experience firsthand what we're doing here. And that is around environmental gain, it is around providing social outcomes and educational outcomes, such as through the care farm, providing multiple ways that members of the public that wouldn't necessarily have had a reason to engage in a farm or a country estate. I think it's really important we do find ways of being able to do that.